In today's video, I'm going to be going over the Legendary Essentials from EX02 Revenant of the Sword. Okay, let's get started then with a little caveat. So this is unlike other sets where like a lot of the stuff is really self-contained. So basically, if you want to build the deck that this is for, then it's probably going to be essential. If you do not want to build a deck, if you're looking for just generic, like totally generic stuff, then most of this is not essential. I'll let you know that straight up. So I'll quickly explain my rating system. 1 is just bad. 2 is a little bit overcosted or just a little bit too weak for the current format. 3 is pretty good. You could see this getting use. 4 is really good in its own deck or pretty good generically, and 5 is either totally broken in its own deck or really, really good generically. That's the way I like to rate this stuff. So we'll start with Amelia, the Swift Dragon Rider. This is a 4. This is fantastic in its own deck. Not particularly good generically, but it is really, really good in its own deck, and it's totally essential in its own deck. So yeah, this is I've got the card up on screen here, so I'll just read it out. When summoned, for the duration of this turn, all your opponent's minions lose minus 200 BP, and all your minions belong to the Sable Knight or Swift class gain 200 BP. And when attacking, the next minion belonging to the Sable Knight class you summon during this turn has its basic cost reduced to 0. So it's a pretty good effect. Having it on when attacking does kind of suck, but yeah, this is really very important, I think, in the red deck, because you attack with this and you're able to play this for 1, which is another 4 out of 5 for the deck. Generically, it's not that good, but yeah. This is a when summoned, if you have no other minions on the field, increase your movement by 1. So you're probably not getting that if you're playing it for 1. And you'll also receive the following effects for this turn, independent of how many minions you've got. All mana with a boost effect on your base can grant its effect even if they are in the rest state. And then you can boost it to immediately transform it into Solo the Relentless Dragon Blade, who is charged. When transformed, all your opponent's neutral mana enters the rest state, and when boosted, this minion enters the active state. So yeah, the combo with that is play this, attack with it. You get the ability even if this does die somehow. If it doesn't, then you get the Switch Sable Knight ability again, which is a nice bonus. And then you play this for 1, and you boost it with Arrested Mana. You get this out, you swing face, you boost it again, and you go face again. Is the goal there. So yeah, these are both 4 out of 5 cards in deck, but they're not generically particularly good. Yellow. This is I want to say 5. It's really good. The only issue is the current best version of yellow does not actually bounce stuff that often to make this worth running at high counts or at all. This is really good though, so I am going to give it a 5 because it's just waiting for yellow to start bouncing like a lot again. And then it's going to like, yeah, because at the moment the best build like is stunning stuff on board and buffing the stats up a lot. They're not necessarily removing stuff back to hand. So I'm giving this a 5, but like with the caveat that the current version of yellow is not using it, but like it's so generically good, I think even outside of that I do want to give it a 5. Lucy the Amethyst Messenger, this is a 4 out of 5. When summoned, return one of your opponent's colour minions to their hand. You boost it as previously. Oh, sorry, it's when summoned and switch Swift. And then this has charge. You return all your opponent's minions to 300 or lower. And then it's when summoned and switch Swift. It gains a bunch of DP rather. And you just smash face, and you basically, the goal is to win with this. This is 4 out of 5 in the deck. It's not particularly good outside of the deck because it's, you know, right. But you could use it outside of the deck. It's only needs to be boosted by a yellow mana. But I haven't seen it being used, and it doesn't seem particularly synergistic at the moment. But I still think it's a 4 out of 5 card because it's really good in its own deck. Right. Victoria the Gilded Knight. On your turn, if you have 7 or more life points, this minion gains 1 DP as well as charge and resurge, and whenever 1 or more of your opponent's minions enters the rest state, restore 1 life point. So 3.5. I think 3.5. It hasn't really been seeing play at the moment, but a 6-cost 8/3 charge Resurger that heals you whenever your opponent like blocks or like you rest something of theirs is hella fucking good, man. Like, that's good. No other way for me to really say that. It's just hasn't really fit into any green at the moment. So I'm going to give it a 3.5 because I think there's a lot of potential there for sure. It's a little bit better than good. Not quite as good as like, I guess probably give it a 4 because it does seem like a staple in green swords, but like green swords and like, yeah. This is pretty good though. Kaio, Soldier of the Frost, when summoned and switch Sable Knight, put one of your opponent's minions in the rest state for each green mana you have on the or each green minion you have on the field. This is probably going to be doing a good amount, and then boost it as you always do. It gets charged when transformed. Put all your mana belong to the sword class that are currently in your base in the active state, and when destroyed and switch Sable Knight, none of your opponent's minions can enter the active state until the end of your opponent's next turn. So this is also really good. Yeah, you know, fuck it. I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. And I'm giving this a 4 out of 5 as well in the green sword deck. The green sword deck probably is the weakest of all of them, but it still seems pretty fun. This being able to stun is like, this is a really strong stun ability. It's just a matter of making it to this stage without like having lost basically all your resources. And onto the generics. So we've got Solo Dual Dragon Blade. When summoned, this minion receives charge, and if you have no other minions, it also receives Resurge, and it can be boosted up to twice. I think if we got some really exceptional boost abilities, this could be really good. Like a specific combo of boost abilities that you could probably build a deck around this dude. At the moment, not great, so I'm going to give this like a 2.5 out of 5. Amelia the Pure. When summoned and switch Sable Knight, this minion receives the following effect for the duration of this turn. None of your minions belong to the Sable Knight class can be selected as targets for your opponent's card effects. So unfortunately this doesn't include itself, but it is still a really, really powerful ability. And on your turn, all your other minions belong to the Sword class receive 1/1. And I'll say the reason that doesn't matter so much that it doesn't include itself is because you can, so you play it, put it in base, next turn bring it back out, play your other stuff, making sure to trigger this obviously with the Sable Knight thing, and then you can smash your thing you want to use that you really don't want to get removed, and even if your opponent has removal, they can only use it on this. And then they've already used their removal. They're unlikely to have double super good removal. Obviously, depending on what deck it is, blue probably will have that, but pretty much everything else probably won't. So this will be pretty good. Yeah, so I'm going to say this is a 3.5 out of 5. When summoned and switch, draw 1 card. This is a 2 out of 5. It's just super overcosted. 1.5 even. When summoned and switch Sable Knight, restore 1 life point, and when destroyed, if this minion is destroyed in battle, you can deal 1 damage to your life. If you do, this card enters the field. So you can kind of infinitely block with this to a point, right? Like you can basically choose how you want to distribute the damage, and you can like reduce damage to like 1 every time. So this gives you a little bit of flexibility there, but if your opponent removes it with a spell, then it's just a total waste of mana. So yeah, this is like a 2 out of 5. And when summoned and switch Swift, you can search your deck for a base minion belonging to the item class, reveal it to your opponent and to your hand. So, I mean, searching for a base minion 6 is not great. And when attacking, if this minion attacks your opponent's life, destroy one of your opponent's minions at 300 BP or lower. If this was a 3 cost, this would be great. On a 6 cost, this sucks. So 2 out of 5. Rita the Flawless. When summoned and switch Sable Knight, destroy one of your opponent's neutral minions. If there are no applicable minions, burn 1. I think this is going to be a 3 out of 5. This is really waiting for like a time to be super good. It's just waiting. We need a format where neutrals are really, really important. Rita the Divine Shot. Swoop when summoned and switch Sable Knight, destroy all your opponent's minions with 400 BP or lower, and if there are no minions to destroy, select a Sable Knight or Swift class on your field to gain 300 BP and 1 DP. This is a 5 out of 5. This is a phenomenal card, like meta impacting, super, super good. Yeah. And Ethereal Giant. No other minions with a cost of 1000 BP or lower can attack, block, or move, and at the start of your turn, all minions receive 100 BP. I think this is a 4 out of 5 card. This is definitely not super, super generic, but it's pretty generic, and the decks it can be used in, it's pretty important, and being able to buy a turn like this can be really valuable, or at least waste your opponent's like mana on their turn. If they don't have too big a board, then that's probably worth it already. So yeah, that is those are the essential legendaries. So basically the big ones you need to know about are Ethereal Giant, he's very good, Rita, who's obviously amazing, other Rita, who I think will be very good at some point in the future. And finally, Amelia the Drifter, who I think is the best coloured legendary. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you did, please leave a like on the video. Please comment any other content you would like me to make, or your thoughts on anything I've said today. And finally, please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of the summer, so I'd really appreciate it if you help me reach my goal. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in tomorrow's video. Cheers.